Today's show is sponsored by ExpressVPN. One-click protection for all your devices. Securing yourself couldn't be easier. Visit expressvpn.com/inside. For better or for worse, and a lot sooner than anyone anticipated, Ubisoft has officially announced their new storefront for NFTs called Ubisoft Quartz. According to their official website, Quartz is the place where you can acquire Digits, the first Ubisoft NFTs, playable in an HD game and relying on an energy-efficient technology. Ghost Recon Breakpoint will be the first Ubisoft game to feature these NFTs, and they are cosmetic items players can equip to their in-game characters. Now, what makes a Ubisoft Digit different from any other type of skin or cosmetic item one might purchase in a video game? Well, the answer is not much. First, to explain, Ubisoft NFTs are purely cosmetic and have no effect on gameplay, but they can be bought and sold by players. Second, each individual item has a serial number or token that makes it unique, and its identity will be tracked by blockchain technology. Lastly, Ubisoft Quartz items are indefinitely tied to the player names of all of their previous and current owners, which will be listed out somewhere in a detailed view of the item and accessible by the public. In short, the idea is to recreate a sense of real-world ownership in a digital space. This sense of ownership is what is being used to entice players to participate in Quartz, effectively a digital marketplace controlled entirely by Ubisoft, who will also very likely be taking a cut of every transaction. Ubisoft plans to release limited editions and sets of various Digits, which will in theory generate value for invested fans who want to collect the items. For example, if there are only 20 specific helmets in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, people might be more inclined to own them and show them off online. Or maybe someone wants to shell out big bucks for the digital pants worn by one of their favorite streamers. Stranger things have happened. Anyways, the first 3 Ubisoft Digits are going to be free and begin releasing starting December 9th. For now, Digits are only available for Ghost Recon Breakpoint players on PC who are 18 or older and have reached an experience level of 5 in the game. So far, those are the facts, so now let's look at some of the implications here. As I mentioned before, none of this is really anything new. There are tons of games with digital marketplaces and exclusive items that have existed long before NFTs and blockchain technology became contentious online discourse. And it is pretty contentious. Obviously, NFTs and blockchain tech were already problematic before Ubisoft decided to include them in a modern mainstream video game, and now even more debate has stirred over whether or not their inclusion actually brings value, or is just a new predatory way to separate gamers from their hard-earned cash. Although Ubisoft and other blockchain evangelists boast about the decentralized nature of NFTs as a way to allow users to own their digital items in a completely free market, Ubisoft will control the supply of items in Quartz, therefore they will have a direct impact over demand through artificial scarcity. Furthermore, the items, at least for now, are only usable in one game, and it's not a very popular game at that. In fact, Ghost Recon Breakpoint was poorly received when it launched, and Ubisoft president Yves Guillemot even threw it entirely under the bus when explaining to investors his company's reasons for a very poor fiscal 2019. So it's safe to say that Ubisoft views Ghost Recon as a safe testing ground for their foray into NFTs, since it's already scorched earth, but if it does manage to reignite interest in Breakpoint or get a lot of people trading, then it's very likely we will see items added to Quartz from other popular Ubisoft franchises like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six, even if it's not necessarily a feature that actual players of the games want. That could be a big win for those who really want NFT marketplaces to succeed, but it certainly feels like a step back for an industry that's finally just coming to terms with the issues around microtransactions and loot boxes. Play-to-earn mechanics like what Ubisoft is courting here are equally dangerous, maybe even more so as there are even more opportunities for developers or investors who already have expendable time and income to take advantage of those who do not. To make matters worse, since Quartz is an NFT marketplace, Ubisoft has confirmed in its own terms of use that if you get scammed, they don't have the ability to reverse or cancel transactions, adding that their blockchain network may be subject to specific weaknesses which make them possibly targets for certain cybersecurity threats, and Ubisoft has no liability in the risks implied by the use of this new technology. As for Ubisoft's energy-efficient method of minting NFTs via Tezos proof-of-stake blockchain technology, it's true that Quartz will use significantly less energy than other crypto art platforms, but it's still significantly more energy than a more traditional digital marketplace would use. One also has to ask what happens to your playable NFTs when a game's lifespan runs its course or the publisher decides to pull its servers. Some are taking it on faith already that these types of NFTs will be carried over from game to game or even somehow magically work across different franchises. But if big gaming companies can't be expected to simply maintain dedicated servers indefinitely for an older game, or even just leave that game up for sale, it seems like a very tall order that publishers would dedicate even more expensive resources towards making sure every single NFT ever made carries over to the next version of a game. This process would involve designers, modelers, animators, and pretty much everyone else in the game production pipeline. And it's obviously a problem that becomes exponentially more expensive and limiting as time goes on. Now, sure, there's always the potential to buy and trade Quartz NFTs through a third-party market after games like Breakpoint inevitably go away, but what good is a digital pair of pants for a dead game? So distressingly, in all seriousness, we have to ask, is Ubisoft Quartz a fun and exciting new way to interact with the game worlds you love, making you a part of gaming history along the way, like the website says? Or does this feel like a cash grab that uses the allure of video games and the latest tech fad to bolster support for a marketplace that wouldn't otherwise exist? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.